Good morning. It's a windy day, so I don't even know if you can hear me. I just got out here, but I have not heard our bird yet. I'm Barbara, and I'm the host of the Flame and Fiber podcast. And I laugh when I say that because yesterday I introduced myself too. And it wasn't until I was editing that I realized I had said, "Hi, my name is Barbara, and I'm the host of the Not Quite Enough Yarn podcast." I did. I'm like listening in my room, because I'm going to add pictures. I'm like, what? That's not the name of my podcast. I had no idea I said it while I was talking. I thought about leaving it and, laughing and whatever, and then I thought, maybe I won't. But, yeah, that's what I said. I mean, I've had times where I thought I was going to say, hello, and welcome to the Fat Squirrel Speaks. So, I watch her podcast. I watch Leslie's podcast more than I watch mine. Because, Anyway, I thought it was pretty hilarious. But I took it out. I thought... But I thought I'd tell you about it anyway. I have not heard our birds yet. It is very windy, so I don't know. They're small. So they probably don't try to fly around very much when it's pretty windy. So we shall see. They may not visit with us today. The girls were out here nagging me, so maybe they'll show up behind me. They could. So then I had to edit my vlog again yesterday after Diane commented and said, "Did you say you were going to shoot deer off your deck? That's terrible." I'm like, no. So that's why I had to go back and put the disclaimer. Although, I can understand it if you're not watching and you're just listening and knitting, because I did say after shooting the deer off, like, no, I'm not doing that. But if you're not watching me, you might not have seen it. Of course, if you're not watching, you might not have seen my disclaimer either. I'm not shooting deer off my deck. It was just a comment on how many deer there are around here. Susan was saying she's got a lot of deer too. She's in southeastern Pennsylvania as well. And, with no predators around here, when I was a kid, you never saw deer in the middle of the afternoon, in the middle of the day. They were all at dusk, out in the fields and things like that. But not now. They're out in the middle of people's yards in the middle of the day. They have no worries. Their only predator around here is cars. It's interesting. I don't remember the name of it now, but there's a movie out about Yellowstone and the reintroductions of the wolves into Yellowstone. I highly, highly recommend it. It's really interesting. But the reintroduction of the wolves changed the course of the river. Yeah. I highly, highly recommend that movie, and I saw it on YouTube, I think, but maybe I saw it on Netflix, but of course I can't remember the name of it. If I find it, I'll link below, and I'll look for it. But it was really fascinating. But the reintroduction of the wolves changed the course of the river. Oh, there's Maisie. So she was out there somewhere. She just went in the house. And that was because without the wolves, the elk did not have to worry because there were no predators. And so they would be out in the middle of the day grazing along the banks of the river, and because they were eating down all the trees and everything, that changed the course of the river. And then when the wolves were reintroduced, the elk could not just hang out by the river anymore. And so the vegetation grew back and the river went back the way it was. It's really fascinating. Anyway, I doubt that the deer are changing the course of the rivers around us. But Maisie went out and got Pearl. There they are. There's some puppy sightings anyway, even if we don't have any bird sightings. I do hear a bird, but it feels like it's quite a ways away, and I don't think it's our bird. So anyway, so much for the deer. So yesterday was like when Diane asked that question, I'm like, oh gosh, I don't want anybody to think I'm out here shooting deer off my deck. I've never hunted. I have shot. I took a rifle class in high school, and I was not in high school, in college. I was a very good shot, but that was 45 years ago. So, yeah, so that's our bird's nest right there in that window box. So anyway, it is a beautiful day, and because of the breeze, it's very comfortable. It's going to be warm today and maybe a little muggier than yesterday, but yesterday was no breeze, so this is going to be much nicer. I have clothes in the washer, which will go up on the line. Hopefully I will get them in before it rains. I don't think it's supposed to rain today, but you never know. It rained last night, but that was long after the clothes would have been in had I washed them yesterday. I did not craft yesterday at all. I read. I finished the book I was reading, and then a book I had on hold came into my phone from my library, and I read it too. I expected to do some crafting because I was supposed to have a crafting meeting with my daughter, but she got busy, and so we didn't end up talking until quite late, and so we just talked for a little while, and then that was that. So this is 2 days in a row I haven't knit on my sweater, which makes me wonder if I don't want to knit on my sweater. You know, I'm not consciously not interested in knitting on my sweater. I don't see any reason why I wouldn't want to knit on my sweater. I'm not at a hard spot. I can just knit. So I think I'll give it one more day before I do any heavy thinking about it. But I do tend to have a different routine on the weekends than I have during the week. So it could just be that. Because there are things we watch, news shows we watch during the week that are not on the weekend, and that's when I usually start my knitting. I sit down, I get my knitting, you know, and we start watching the news. So I'm hoping that that's just the reason why I didn't, and because I, you know, didn't start my routine at the same place, and I was reading instead, and I just kept reading, and I like to read. And it does come, for me, it does go in spurts. So, but I got my book. It was a Jack Reacher. I like Jack Reacher. He's, you know, he's like Superman. He's always righting the wrongs of the little old people. You know, he bumps into a little old man in the bus. This always happens to him. It's not the first little old man he's bumped into on the bus, you know, kind of thing, and then he rescues them, and it all comes out in the end. And so that's how Jack Reacher works. And I, you know, escape literature. So my Jack Reacher came in, so I just read it, and I gave it, and then I sent it back to the library. I took one day to read it, sent it back to the library. There were 7 people waiting for it, so I read it and I sent it back. So I've taken other books out, but you know, apparently they're not so compelling because I read my Jack Reacher before. Oh, teddy bear came out with Maisie. Maisie has her teddy bear. Pearl does not. There are plenty of teddy bears for her to have one if she wants it, so don't feel sorry for Pearl. David sent 2. Of course, one of them is just a rope now. But she has plenty of toys. And they're running, so anyway, so I am expecting to do some crafting today. I'm expecting to knit, and if I do not knit today, I will do a little soul searching to figure out why. Because if I don't knit today, then it's something about the knitting. And if I don't want to knit, then I have a pink sweater that I swatched for that will only take a little bit of work. I have a new hat pattern. I have a new shawl pattern. I have every kind of wonderful yarn you can imagine. I could do something else. Plus, I have a giraffe to stitch. So, but my guess is it was just the weekend, and that today I will knit. I would just sit here, turn around and sit here, because I don't normally sit in this chair, because I usually am sitting over in that chair right there so that I can look this way. And I would just turn around and do that and start knitting, except that I have to upload the video. So I have to go in, and once I do that, then the different routine starts. Of course, I could always put you up later on the afternoon and knit for a little while. I'm the boss of me. I can do whatever I want. Apparently. But in the meanwhile, if I don't knit today, then I'll try to think about why I think that might be. Don't have anything planned for today, although one of these, tomorrow I have to take Maisie to the doctor. She's getting a knee treatment, and I have to run to the UPS store for my mother-in-law. And one of these days, Dennis and I are going to go to the garden center. He has things he wants to get, and I have things I want to get. We have some plants inside that need to be repotted, like our peace lily. And I want to plant some parsley and things like that in some flower pots. And he has, anyway. So we will go to the garden center. Oh, I don't know if it's possible. I want to get a peony. I have a peony and it's in too shady of a spot. I might just replant that peony again. It's been replanted once already. But anyway. And if I go to the garden center, then one of these days I'm going to have work to do outside, which I haven't done yet. So I already have work that needs to be done, but it'll be a little more urgent if I have things in pots that need to be planted. Meanwhile, it's a pretty day out here. The dogs are out here with me. But no bird. Our birds are not here today. But I hope they'll be back. I will keep you posted. Now, the problem is, if I stop talking, well, I can still stop talking. But if I go in, the dogs will go in with me, and they're out here romping. So I might just sit here and read my phone for a few more minutes after I stop rambling, just so the girls have more time running around. Because they really do love it. But they'll go in with me. They're very good companions. So I don't want to prematurely ruin their fun. So I'll probably just do that. But meanwhile, I will say I hope all is well with you. I hope you're having a beautiful day too. And I hope everyone is safe. Wear your masks. Stay safe and stay sane. So it's me again. This is the third time I've been trying to add this little bit to say, this is my 100th vlog. I've been doing this for 100 days. Thank you so much for those of you who have been joining me, and thank you so much for joining me today. These have meant a lot to me. It's been helping me get through this whole thing in a way that works for me, and I hope you have enjoyed them. And I will keep going, but 100, vlog number 100. Crazy. Take good care of yourselves, everybody, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.